look at this video right here as 3 investigations are underway after ICE officers shot at a driver Homeland Security says was trying to run the ICE officers over. Fox 5 DC's Stephanie Ramirez joining us here with the latest. And Stephanie, as we mentioned, there is a lot to this situation. What do we know and what at this point don't we know?
There is still a lot of questions here. Good morning from the greater D.C. region. We are in Glen, Burnie, Maryland this morning. This community here, Ten House community, is where this incident unfolded yesterday on Christmas Eve. And so right now we have two men in the hospital. One of them was shot by ICE. We're told that person is in stable condition. The second person injured in a crash connected to this scene. So we do have some video to show you. There's a van involved, and that van, you can see in one of the views that we had, did appear to have at least one bullet hole in the front windshield there. This all happened a little before 11 o'clock yesterday morning. There was no ICE spokesperson on scene to update reporters afterwards. So Anne Arundel County Police, they were here. They did give reporters a news conference without taking questions, but they said that according to preliminary information, ICE was working a detail in the area. Their enforcement and removal operations, or ERO officers, had located a Portuguese national in the driver's seat of a van involved. A Salvadorian national was sitting in the passenger seat, and both men were said to be in the country illegally. We're told ICE approached the van, instructed the driver to turn it off. The Department of Homeland Security claims in a social media post that the driver then began ramming his van into several ICE vehicles and then drove directly at ICE officers, who fired back, fearing for their lives. The van then crashed afterward.
I can tell you that the Anne Arundel County Police Department's Criminal Investigation Division is handling the shooting investigation.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the video. This is Justin Paul. Reacting here to news that happened on Christmas Eve. Two injured in an ICE-involved shooting in Glen, Burnie, Maryland, is what they're saying. And you know how they're painting the situation was a Portuguese national and a let's see, what did they say? The Portuguese national
of a van involved. A Salvadorian national was sitting in the passenger.
Yeah, and a individual from Salvador. They were, in the van. They're suspected of being here, illegally, and ICE was there in detail, performing an operation, I guess, looking for these two, or looking for one of the guys, the Portuguese guy, and the van that you see there on the screen end up running into ICE vehicles, and also, was going towards ICE agents, and that's when they, of course, shot into this van, and sounds like they injured the two individuals. So again, as I've always said in these videos, ICE has a very, very tough job. They're frontline and trying to handle deportations, and just trying to hunt down people who are here illegally. And you can expect to have situations like this, like even the same is going on in Minneapolis or St. Paul, where in a few videos ago, you seen woman getting dragged through the snow, and ICE agents letting off mace and other deterrents to try to keep protesters at bay. So very, very tough job that these guys have to perform, and I'm not surprised at all that these type of stories are coming to light, and are happening quite frequently, because people definitely don't want to get deported back to the country that they come from, man. These guys more than likely had them a little small business that they were doing, maybe going around doing painting, because typically these are the type of vans I see when people do like home improvement or painting apartments and stuff like that. So they probably was working on odds job, trying to provide or make sure that they have money and stuff like that to keep themselves afloat, and just getting paid hand to hand or under the table type of a thing. Or they may have been going through and getting paid in more legal means and stuff like that. And that may be a way that they were tipped off to, where these guys may be located and stuff like that. Let's get a little bit more context here.
There was an individual in that vehicle that was struck by gunfire. That individual was transported to an area hospital with what is being described, he's being described as being in stable condition. There was another individual outside of that vehicle that sustained minor injuries and also went to an area hospital. Again, I understand there's going to be a lot of questions about the specifics of what transpired. Any ICE-related questions, we will defer to the ICE Public Affairs Officer. They are not on site right now, so I'm giving you the preliminary information that I have. I can tell you that the Anne Arundel County Police Department's Criminal Investigation Division is handling the shooting investigation. The incident involving the assault on the agents is being handled by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And finally, there's going to be an internal investigation conducted, and that is through ICE under their Office of Professional Responsibility. Those are the basic details that we have right now. Again, it's still early, and we're conducting the shooting investigation. The police department, the Anne Arundel County Police Department, none of our officers were involved in the shooting this morning. Before we close up, though, I do want to turn it over to Chief Howard, who has a statement that she wants to give to the community. Chief?
So essentially, I'm just providing some clarification. Hello, everyone. My name is Amal Howard. You heard Mr. Mulcahy speak to the three components of this investigation. Our criminal investigation division is handling the criminal investigation of the agent-involved shooting. You also heard him say, did you reference? Which part did you reference?
The internal investigation, that review is being conducted by ICE under their Office of Professional Responsibility.
So folks may wonder why there are three components to this thing. It's a multi-layered incident with obviously our federal partners involved. And we do work in tandem or collaboration with them in terms of conducting our role, our responsibility in a criminal investigation. This is something that is a standard practice for them, where the FBI will conduct the investigation involving any federal agent involved or assaulted. And then there will be an internal review conducted by the agency involved. And again, that is HSI. But just to reiterate, no Anne Arundel County police officers were involved in this incident, nor were they present during the incident. So thank you.
We're also following an ICE-involved shooting in Glen, Burnie, as ICE officials say agents shot two illegal immigrants who were trying to run them over following a traffic stop. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kai Jackson.
And I'm Vincent Hill. Now, police say the driver was hit, then wrecked his van into the nearby woods.
That's right. Fox 45's Jeff Abel spoke to witnesses and takes us through the investigation.
Well, there is still plenty of unanswered questions here in Glen Burnie, but tonight, two people are in the hospital after an ICE agent, investigators say, fired on two people. Just after sundown, crews pulled a white van out of the Glen Burnie woods. Investigators say an ICE agent had fired at the driver of this van after the driver had attempted to run him over.
Flying down here from Walmart, they say van come from Walmart, and the ICE was following somebody. Then the guy tried to run the ICE guy over, and the guy shot him 3 times.
ICE agents were conducting a detail. They approached a white van. That van attempted to run agents over. Then ICE agents fired at that vehicle. That vehicle accelerated, coming to rest behind me in a wooded area behind these homes.
Investigators identify the driver of the van as Tiago Alexandre Sousa Martins from Portugal, who had been living illegally in the U.S. for the past 17 years. His passenger is identified as Solomon Antonio Soriano Esquivel, an illegal immigrant from El Salvador. Investigators say agents had positively identified both men, but when agents attempted to question them, the driver slammed into several ICE vehicles and attempted to run over the agents.
What's very interesting from this second clip here of this whole incident that happened in Glen Burnie, Maryland, is that the guy that's from Portugal, they didn't say the guy from El Salvador how long he had been in the United States, but the guy from Portugal has been living in the United States illegally for 17 years. And within 17 years, it didn't, clearly state whether they were, seeking citizenship or not. But man, my first few months here in the United States, if I'm in that position, I'm trying to become a U.S. citizen. I'm not going to just be hiding out for 17 years and be cloaked by or hoping to be cloaked by politicians who, want to have, um, you know, hideout states, or, live in states to where, they're going to try to protect you without you going through the process. I'm going to want to go ahead and get myself solidified so that I don't have to worry about this type of stuff, and it may be easier said than done. But man, 17 years of like living in this country and just never truly becoming a citizen of the country is that's pretty strange in my opinion. It just like, and I can understand, okay, you're trying to do work, you're trying to make something of yourself. It's, easy for guys to come over here with a carpenter background, or that have skills in painting and home improvement, like craftsman work, if you know how to, do welding, all this, these type of hard drugs, and like I'm sorry, hard jobs, and like construction and infrastructure. It's easy for you to find an apartment complex, or someone who's trying to um do home improvements to, find work, lawn care, anything like that. As long as you can get your hands on some equipment and some supplies and a truck to be able to haul that stuff around and to get you from job to job, you can find some work. But 17 years, man, I'll have to definitely hear whether or not they even tried to become U.S. citizens. And that's one of the interesting things that stuck out to me. But just wanted to report on this, and we'll go ahead and close out this video. If you like my content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.